Let's get some music, of course. Not that. Status effects are the agenda for tonight, and oh man, do I have some status effects planned. So the big thing that I'm trying to do is move all of the logic about what status effects do to the status effect directory. I want this to be in charge of it all. The only thing I want outside classes to do is just point to the functions defined on each status effect. And that includes setting like the different animations that take place per status effect. Those can be defined here, like tinting, making a unit green. That happens here. The order that they appear is the order of operations. So first it will try poison, and then sleep, and then defense up, and then revive. And each one of those that applies, it'll check those check those boxes. So when your turn starts, it should do first the poison effect, then the sleep effect, then the defense up, and so on. So some of the ones I have in mind, we're going to need to make some new functions of this ilk. So this is out. Needs to be just that. I need to see if we're using this anywhere else that we need to rework, because I think somewhere sleep is being checked specifically. Let's apply. That's not there anymore. Battle events, here we go. Right here, before a turn, before an enemy turn or player turn, we decrement the potency for sleep if you have been damaged. So we need to do a check for aggregate damage. Or maybe, yeah, because some checks will probably happen as you take damage. I've got some hilarious ideas for that. Like if you're hit by an attack that hits you 4 times in a row for 1 damage each, the status effect will tick all 4 of those times. But if you are hit by some of these, they only care about the fact that you were hit during that turn, not that it was 4 times, and it waits until the end of all those 4 to actually respond. So it gets a little bit tricky. So this is going to be changed a little bit. So what we actually want to do is, instead of looking through damaged units, we're going to change this function around a bit, such that status effect directory is going to have, pretty much specifically for sleep, on after turn complete, I guess. Except I want to specify that it's on after damage aggregate, which is specifically going to be for if a unit, after a unit has been hit completely, then we will pass in all of the specific, all of the damage? Not all of the damage, because like you could hit 4 different units. Ooh, chicken salad. Yum. How many lizards will you need? You're gonna need an army. You're gonna need enough lizards to feed an army. This should do. I guess I only want to pass the damage instances. A damage instance is only tied to one unit. So let's only pass the damage instances that are tied to that unit. Somehow. So assume we are getting a list of damage instances and and every single status and that particular status effect instance for the unit. That's going to be interesting. Okay, so we have a list of damaged units. For each damaged unit, damage instances equals this, but not filtered, right? Damage instance equals the damage list dot filter return a dot unit equals damage unit. We're doing a group by. Does Godot? Hey Ribby, we're working on status effects. Godot array. Does it have like a group by sort of function? Doesn't look like it. No. Do I want to make a group by? Yes. So the plan is, the main plan for tonight is we're going to take the code that we've written that has occasional special things that are like, if the enemy is asleep and they take damage, then reduce the sleep by 1. We're going to take that out of like the battle code, and we're going to make that just a function of the status effect itself. Let's see here. Group array. Take the array and take a grouping function, which is a callable. And that's going to return a new... It's going to return a dictionary? I don't know what it's going to return. We're going to find out what it's going to return. Let's see here. Yeah, I think a dictionary is what it's going to return. Godot dictionary. What's the setter function? Oh, okay, you can just use... all right, great. For element in array, key equals grouping function dot call on the element. That's the key that it belongs to. And then we say, I guess we need to check if it's in the dictionary. Is that has key. If ret.has key already, then ret sub key dot append element. Else ret sub key equals element. Return. All right. So this takes an array of something like 1, 1, 1, 2, 4, 4, and then returns not exactly this, but this is the idea. Something like that. So this will let us key value pair into an array. Okay, so we're gonna take our damage instances and we're gonna group them by unit. Grouped damage by unit is utility.group array. Group this array by the function of a.unit. So this will group everything by the unit, and then we can iterate over that. Let's see. Iterating over a dictionary. You can say for unit in group damage by unit. Then you can have damage instances equals that. And then that will return a list of damage instances. Which includes like the properties and the amount of damage done and the source of the damage, which should always be a single source, but maybe not always. Okay, so for that unit, we want to grab the status effects, and it's going to be basically this. For every status effect in the status effect list in that order, and if the unit has that status effect, this can probably be simplified in some way. Take status effect function as on after damage aggregate. That's the one. With a default value of do nothing, no op. And then call that function with the unit and damage instances. Is there a way to parameterize this? Go call with array of arguments. Is that doable? Is that doable? Call V. Call V. Let's see. Effect func dot call V. Well, Godot call V. There it is. Method. Oh, you pass in. What is this? What is this? Okay, call takes method string name. That's not true, right? No. That can't be right. That can't be right at all. Calls the method on the object and returns the result. Show me callable. Here we go. Call. Okay, it is just call V and then an array. Oh, perfect. Okay, this whole block can be so much simpler. How do we do it? Where are we doing this? So far, we're doing it kind of like this. Call the function with the appropriate parameters. But we can certainly have a function to call for all something like run func for all effects. Something like that. And that would take the unit and a list of parameters. Unit, which is the battle unit, and param list, which is an array. And it returns no variables. Oh, this is gonna be good. Oh, I feel good about this. I must be a genius. There's no way this could backfire. Okay, we need a unit. We need the function name as a string. That, and then we do call v with the param list. Okay, status effect directory. Run func for all effects. Unit. Actor effect draw. Pass in unit as the parameter. And that is it. Oh, that's much cleaner. Look at that. Suddenly it's a one-liner. Okay, so now this can become a one-liner. We just say, all right, now use on after damage aggregate, pass in unit and the damage instances. And boom, it's gone. All of that is gone. Okay, this still needs to be done, but we're getting closer. So now, knowing that we have unit and a list of damage instances on our sleep function, I would really like the effect itself as well. How hard is that to get? What if all of these had the same block? They always pass in the unit and the effect. I mean, I guess the effect on its own would be enough if they always pass in the effect. Because the unit is on the effect, right? Effect.unit, yeah. And so instead it becomes, instead of param list, it'd be extra param list. Has status effect on battle unit. What does that look like? Whew. If existing effects, oh, that's, okay, here we go. Maybe has status effect is not the way to go, but instead we do our existing status effects equals unit dot filter that matches for effect equals status effect type. And effect potency is greater than 0, duration is greater than 0. So if are any, then the effect is the first one in the list, and then our new param list. Param list dot push front, append front. Push front. It is push front. Push effect onto the front of the parameter list. And so extra parameter list only is like the damage instances. And so instead, this is always going to be this as the first element that we pass in. Whew. Okay, and that's for everything, though. So that means also for actor effect draw. Needs to be effect first. Okay, that's the only ones that have that. Right, sorry. Ram list is extra param list now. Okay, and then so we just pass in the unit, the function name, and the extra parameters, which is usually nothing. In this case, it is not. Okay, next up, we need to reduce sleep potency by 1 in the sleep status effect here. Okay, so we have our damage instances. We're gonna grab the damage instances that can cause wake up. This is already the damage instances for this particular guy here. Took waking damage. If took waking damage, then reduce sleep potency by 1. Unit, decrement potency, and effect.unit. And then update the draw effect to make sure that it actually plays the animation of them not being asleep anymore. Switches them back to the regular idle animation or regular poison animation or whatever combination of things they're in. Oh, okay, I think that works. But I don't know if it does. But that should do it. How do we confirm? Start a battle. Put some pigs to sleep. And there we go. All right. What do we got here? What is our problem? Oh, I left this in. We don't need to check for damaged units anymore because that's happening elsewhere. All right. Okay, that didn't work either. Non-existing function filter. Oh, unit dot status effects. How do you decide which solution to go with? Do you have a heuristic? Experience, I guess? Kind of after you do something a lot of times, you don't even really think about it a lot. All right, there we go. There's our problem right there. Comparing a dictionary and a string. We sure are not supposed to be. Like, I've been a professional software developer for over 10 years now. Is it? About 12 years. And eventually you just get a feel for it, which is mostly comes from just making mistakes. So when you make the mistakes enough times and you start to see like, oh, this really caused problems. Really? Is that what it is? I guess that makes sense that that's not a unique experience for people who have done development a lot. I know the term code smell is thrown around a lot, and there's truth to it that after a while you start working on something and you come up with an answer and you start it and then you're like, wait a second, I've seen this before. This is going to royally screw me in about 2 weeks. Yeah, if you are a new dev and you are trying to get to that point where you can recognize what solutions are going to be a problem, you have to make those mistakes in the first place. I don't know if that's specific to me, that I just learn from mistakes better than from books or something like that. I convert it to dev coat, which is mostly, dev cost, which is mostly dev time, which can be measured. There is something to that sometimes the best solution is measured in the one you can get out the quickest. But that is a complicated computation because it's not always possible to predict what the long-term cost of something will be. It may be very easy to determine up front, this solution will take me 1 day to implement, this solution will take me 3 days to implement. But at least when working in a environment for a business, a lot of the cost, you have to think years ahead about when the business inevitably wants this changed later, which solution is going to cost me an extra 4 days to remember how this works versus this cleaner solution that takes longer up front but will pay for itself in time. Yes. Dev time is extremely important. Never try to be so clever that you can't understand it later. Yeah. You can make a solution that is more performant. Like the computer can do it, twice as fast if you do it this fancy way. But later on, when you need to change something, you're going to have no idea what is going on with the code. It is easier to write code than it is to read code. And so you need to be nice to your future self who is going to have to read that. Hey, PK. No, that's definitely true. Just expect yourself to not be as smart in the future. And it's especially true for making games where you're just trying things. There's not necessarily an overarching specific endpoint. A lot of game development is trying things, see what's fun, see what works, see what doesn't. That's very different from corporate applications. Right. Status effects. It's saying that our effects... No? Well, simplest thing. What are we failing on here? That's true. Some code is just going to be hard to understand, and if that's the case, that's when you need to mark it in big comments that say, warning, this stuff sucks. Here's why it's here. Here's what it's doing. Hope you don't have to mess with this. So let's see the output. Object and then the word poison. Ah, ha ha ha. It's the key that we're passing along here. Okay, that is actually fine. Because we can do status effect directory sub status effect type. And change that to status effect key. Or better yet, leave it at that, but set it as a variable. And that would be the status effect key. That can be status effect key. Structure files to read top to bottom, but that's extra. You just don't jump around. That's true. I mean, you want things to be easily understood at a glance. There we go. But they did not update their animation now after the refactor. Why didn't they update their animation then? Actor effect draw is supposed to happen in Battle Manager, right here. Run function for all effects. And that's supposed to iterate through all the effects that they have, which in this case is now sleep, and run the callable function, which corresponds to the every single status effect. It checks to see, does it support that method? And if so, what do you do? So are we calling this method at all? And here, if you have that method, go ahead and print the key here to show me you do. Sleep, 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 sleep. But it did not call the actual method here. That makes me feel like it's hitting this. Let me see if that's what's happening. Because that might actually be what's going on, is we're getting the default. Well, no. Okay, that's not happening. Is it something up with this call v function? I've never used it before. It looks pretty straightforward. You have a callable. You give it a parameter list. Anonymous lambda. Okay, well. We have a function. We're passing in the name. We're passing in the correct parameter list, I assume. Okay, we hit. We're looking for actor effect draw, which we do have such a function. And then we have the unit being passed in as the parameter. So that's in the sleep function. Actor effect draw. This is the function. This is the lambda that it should be hitting. Hitting a little bit of an issue with the reset animation now after our refactor. We did a little bit of moving some code around, trying to make it a little bit simpler to work with. But now the result is that the pigs are not visibly falling asleep when they hit that status effect. Yeah, that's because that was poison. That's why that wasn't getting called. Why is it this one getting called, though? I know. Well, no, see, the terrible thing is they're sleeping with their eyes open. Very peculiar. Okay, status effect is definitely sleep. And it has a function there. Factor effect draw. Let me see if there's some kind of extra business I need to know about call V. Like, it should be basically the same as call. That looks normal. Yeah, it's just call V. This method expects all arguments to be contained inside the arguments array. Yeah. Well, that should work. That should work exactly as I expect. How about this? What properties does a callable have? Is there any properties I can look at to confirm we're seeing what... You can't do equality. Hey, thank you for the follow. All follows are anonymous. Doing this game development pretty much every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with some exceptions. So I think the question is, does this equal status effect dot sleep dot get actor effect draw? Temp status effect true. Oh no, it's saying that yes, that is the exact thing I think it is. That is the function. But call V does not appear to be calling. If it was calling this function, we would get this here. I don't suppose it can print the contents of the script function, can it? I would not expect it to be possible. Remote procedure call. No. No such luck. Oh, this is peculiar. So we have the function, but it's, and we're making the attempt to call it. How about this? Call just call with the unit. Maybe there's something weird with call V I don't understand yet. Well, it didn't like that. Expected 2 arguments for effect draw. Oh, why does it need 2 arguments though? I guess that's the problem, isn't it? Oh, so if, oh, that's interesting though. Ooh, okay. I see. So that tells me that happens in Battle Manager, yeah, with no additional. That tells me that if the parameters do not line up, it does not even give you an error. Or if it does, it's a very quiet one. Oh, well now it's gonna tell me, yeah, because now it needs to be call V again. Okay, I bet that's what it is. I bet that's what went wrong there. There they go. There they go. Okay. Worrying. All right. What happens? Let me just throw the wrong parameter in here again. Everything or nothing. There were 2 007 games at almost like in the same console generation, I remember. It was Everything or Nothing and also no, it was Agent Under Fire and Nightfire. Oh yeah, this doesn't care. I played both Agent Under Fire and Nightfire, and they both had interesting multiplayer. Okay, yeah, look at that. Look at that. It did not... Does that give me anything in the debugger or anything? Nothing. No errors when that happens. Oh, I hate that. Let's see, what was the difference? Like, one of them had a grappling hook, which was amazing, and a jetpack, but the grappling hook was superior. I think that was Nightfire. And then Agent Under Fire had these remote control drones, like there was a tank and there was a helicopter. And me and my friends used to spend lots of time just trying to navigate the multiplayer maps as the helicopter, because if you touched a wall, it exploded. All right, there we go. We got them. They're asleep now. Sleepy piggies. Ooh, that is tricky. One of them had a wine press in like a winery level, which was an ugly level that you could not see anything because it was all these GameCube era awful wood graphics. But there was like body armor in the wine press, but also a button on the wall that you could activate. Maybe you could shoot it. And if anyone was in the wine press when you hit it, they got pressed. And it was an insta-kill. It was very funny. I do remember a lot of talk about the big 3 N64 games. Are you implying that GoldenEye was one of the big 3? Let's make a new status effect. I have a silly idea for a status effect. It was! I knew it! I have a silly idea for a status effect. A money status effect that makes it so that for every bit of damage you do, you get money. Mario 64, Mario Kart, GoldenEye, Ocarina of Time, and Smash Bros. In terms of sales. That makes sense. That makes sense. I know on the Nintendo Power Awards, GoldenEye pretty much swept it, except for the Kart Racer, the best racing game, which went to Mario Kart 64, of course. Oh man, remember Wave Race? That was a good one. All right, we're gonna make a fake status effect. We're gonna make a new status effect. It's not fake, it's just new. Hold tight, it's coming. All right. Money. All right. So the idea is that this is going to be like a little bonus status effect that you can get maybe as a very rare occasional item, not something you can use for actually farming money. Never liked GoldenEye. The game itself was not what was important. It wasn't that the game itself was good. It was that it was a great activity to hang out with friends around. The game itself was horribly unbalanced. It did not reward skill. It was all about having a specific group of people that just enjoyed, like, just running around in complex, playing proximity mines only. No, remote mines. Oh man, remote mines. You'd hole up with the proximity mines in that one little up, that little, you know, that up part where it was basically you were just dead end up there. I wonder. Hang on. I wonder. I'm guessing not, because I would have looked at this earlier. No, I was gonna check the NoClip website to see if it had GoldenEye multiplayer maps, but I don't see them there. Either a Steam Deck or a Switch 2. Which one and why? Probably a Switch 2 between the two. Now, my opinion does not mean that the Switch 2 is better in any way, but the thing is, if I want to play my Steam games, I don't want to play them on a tiny screen. I want to play them on my computer that already has all my Steam games on it. Whereas if I wanted to play whatever the next big Mario is or whatever, I cannot play that on my computer. That's basically it, is that I can already play all my Steam games. And I don't want to play them mobily. Like, I want to play them on a big screen at with a keyboard and mouse. That's it. That's the extent of my my decision on that. If someone on the street stopped me and told me I had to get one or the other. All right, kind of a goldish color, similar to the Revive color, but a little bit more gold. Oh no, you contracted on me. Okay, so we're gonna do like a big... Let's use this as our sizing. Okay. Perfect. Oh. There it is. You want to play Rocket League on the bus. Rocket League with the bus. It's orange. You have orange. Paper Mario, let's go! This is the icon for the money in the game. 12 rounds of Slay. You missed the Slay the Spire run that we open up, that we've just started opening up all the streams with. I won as Defect handily because I had 2 copies of Echo Form, And Echo Form lets you play the first card per turn. It doubles it. So if you do a 6 damage attack as your first move in a turn, you do 6 damage and then you do 6 damage again. Amazing card. But because I had 2 copies of it, I played Echo Form on turn 1, and then turn 2, my first move, the other Echo Form, which got played twice. So as a result, the first 3 cards I played every turn for the remainder of the boss fight were doubled, including all the powers that would, like, ridiculously destroy anything, until I was doling out upwards of 100 damage per turn by the end of the round. It was good. It was a good run, a good build. Defect, Echo Form for me is like, okay, yep, this is what we're doing now. This is the build. For Silent, Accuracy is the card, the power that makes all the difference, which makes all the Shiv attacks deal 6 extra damage. And you can duplicate that with a duplication potion or just duplicate the card somewhere. And so suddenly all of your Shivs that are free, they're just giving you those for free. They're all doing like upwards of, I think by the end of that run, I had them dealing 21 damage each. And they started doing 4 damage, so it was very funny. And I have not found a good way. I've not found a good build with Ironclad, unfortunately. It just hasn't come together. New status effect. This one is going to be first in line, and the reason is because the order controls the priority. So for things like draw effects, lower down takes precedent. It goes in order. So it's like, okay, first we're going to apply anything from poison. So turn you green and play the tired animation. And then sleep. Oh, but you're also asleep? Okay, play the sleep animation. And so on. 80 milliseconds. Okay, that was your ping, is what you were talking about there. 165 hertz, take a constant 60. My old man eyes can't be bothered. Like, I can definitely tell the difference between 30 and 60 on, say, a TV. I see the soap opera effect. Really weird how everyone associates, or at least everyone at my generation and older, sees 60 frames per second on a TV show, and they're like, why does this look like a soap opera? How weird is that? What a weird situation. Let's get this out of here for now. Desk room. All right, what are we going to call this status effect? So the idea with this status effect is it's a rare bonus you will occasionally get. I'm thinking either from an item that we don't sell, like it's just a treasure only, or something like that. And what it does is when the status effect is active, you will get any damage you deal during your turn while you have the status effect active, you will get that much money. So if you deal 12 damage, then you get 12 money. That's it. That's the gag. So it'll be just a rare little bonus that's like, oh, that's fun. It's not affecting combat, but now I really want to do a lot of damage. So we'll call this one Cash Grab. Zombies ate my neighbors? Zombies ate my neighbors. Where'd that you come from, Dupu? No 60 hertz in games, but don't notice 120 hertz on your phone, always on. Here you go. game is gold. So during the Subnautica stream, I was definitely kind of in and out a little bit, but when you went off the edge, I was like, uh-oh. That might be the issue. But you didn't get the pop-up notification, so maybe not. When you go far enough out, you get a little databank entry that talks about the shape of the game area and explains why there's a deep end. That's kind of interesting. It's a little weird, but it's kind of different. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the place, but I don't think you were far out enough to trigger the databank message or the other thing. But basically it just tells you, like, oh yeah, this is, yeah, that's interesting that this planet has suddenly kilometers deep ocean, whereas the area that you landed is like, 400, 500 meter shallows by comparison. Let's see, what was it? 6. Icon index 6. Icon index what? We don't need on apply, on effect. We are gonna set a color of yellow, right? Nice bright yellow. Were you not? Yeah. If it was the sea moth or the sea glide or something, then. But with the prawn is not good for the depths. You would not have been able to do anything. Actually, your fall speed might have saved you, because I think when you get deep enough outside of the map bounds, you just get teleported back to the very center of the map. Which is very silly, but whatever. I don't know if there's like a terminal velocity or anything, but dropping like a rock in the prawn might have been the safest option. Let's see here. Let me take a look at an actor here. Entities, actors. Let's grab the player. So we can do a set tint, right? How does that work? Is that on sprites? It's on the Sprite 3D, perhaps? Isn't there... How do I set... What does set tint do? All right, hang on. What does set tint do? What is that actually doing? It's on actor base. Sub viewport sprites. Set shader parameter. Okay. So there's a parameter here. Ah, here we go. Shader parameter. So if I shift this, can I only do that on the base actor, maybe? All right, come on. Make unique, totally. All right, so if I set that to like yellow, then he should like turn yellow, right? I want to turn him gold. I'm not looking particularly gold right now. Or green for that matter. Huh. I would have found it. Simply missing the right resources. But it's such a specific, like, it's not obvious that it is a resource. Because in the same region, and I think you checked this, there's like these glowing looking growths in some area, and you can go up to them and like, oh, what is that? And you knife it and nothing happens. At least that was my experience. And it was like, oh, oh, well, okay. I guess don't knife everything after all. I don't feel like the game does a good job of it. Day, thank you for those 56 months of subscription.
Well, I have been here about a year, I figure.
Almost, yeah, almost a year. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's so easy to just, okay, I'm just gonna randomly chop things and see what happens. But I was in the same boat as you of thinking, oh, that's aerogel. That's gotta be like a chemical substance of some sort, so maybe the recipe is in the Aurora and I missed it somehow, or you have to get it from a databank somewhere or something. Because so many of the recipes, it straight up tells you like, oh, yeah, to get this, you need this item. And then randomly for this one, it's so easy to just be like, oops, I didn't use my knife on this particular growth that doesn't even look like a knife would work on it. Very silly. Cube shift. All right, well, let's just try yellow, and then we'll mess with it. Let's see what happens. Dun, 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 dun. Day, day, day. Today we're making a new status effect that's gonna turn Dabble gold. Guess we want like a little bit more R than G. Okay, this is gonna be all we need to start with. Let's go into our battle move directory. Our moves. Our moves are weak. And we're gonna apply cash grab. And we have to go to the item directory. I guess I could just as easily say apply it to source. There we go. No, it's gotta be target. And then I have to change item directory for temp to target friendly. Right? Is that how it works? My team. Target my team. Yeah. Lag is the one that knows. That's gold, huh? It's a little greenish, if I'm being honest. Can I mess with these values live, perhaps? Battle, actors, player. And then sub viewport sprites. And then there should be a shader, a material. There we go, material, shift color. Oh, red looks great. Problem is, it doesn't really tint him as much. Oh, that's something. Ghosty. Yeah, green works fine. It's because he's already orangish. It doesn't really come across, does it? So I would need like some kind of overlay instead. Is there a way we could do that, though? Modulate? Ugh. Not really. It doesn't add the color so much. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Screen sharing working, got YouTube installed. On a TV? What? You can't install programs on a TV. It's not a computer. Yeah, it's sickening how good lag is at Blender. He really knows his stuff. All right, well, so the gold was a silly idea. Maybe there's a way to have like some kind of shader, but for now, no, there is not. You'd get nothing. You get nothing. And instead, we're gonna have a new function similar to how sleep has on after damage aggregate. We're gonna have on deal damage and not aggregated, just every single instance. On deal damage instance. This passes a single damage instance. So that means, oh, does a damage instance include the target? Can you donate bits to Lady Hovercat's Mother's Day? No. Now, if you have specific things that you think she should get for Mother's Day, you can specify those. But do it in Pig Latin, because she's looking over here now. Uh-oh. I think she's pulling up chat. Thought she was a person of integrity. How integritous of you. Oh, yeah. Impossible. Yeah, damage instance. That would be in battle actions. So we create a damage instance. Yeah, and then we have on before damage and on damage effects. On before damage. Check damage effects. What? What is check damage effects? Yeah. Gotta make sure you're not weird. Let's see here. Oh, okay, that's for the, that's for like, check for piercing damage or whatever else. But where is, okay, aggregate damage happens, in the events, right here. We get the turn damage list, and then we pass that to the status effect directory. But instead, what we're gonna do is in battle actions, at the moment that we create the damage indicator, oh no, pretty much like right here, right? We're gonna run on deal damage instance. We're gonna pass the damage instance as the extra parameter.
Normal.
Normal. Normal. Normal. Normal. What a great Mother's Day gift to get your mother every year for 20 years. Yeah. Do you want me to tell you what she whispered that she wants to get you for Mother's Day? There were 2 things. Look, I can neither confirm nor deny that it's those exact things that you just said, but... damage instance happens on Q hurt action. So that comes from battle moves. Right? The moves Q a hurt. Okay, so normally it's just this. It's just amount equals damage. Bake a chicken, watch a movie. Ugh. Is it grandchildren? We don't have grandchildren. No. How old do you think I am? How old do you think I am? Damage instance. Is there anything where we add something to the... Don't we add the, final damage amount? Is this where we edit this to add... Where does source come in for damage instance?
My brain cell.
Pushing 30. Pushing 30. Damage instance dot set? No. Damage instance no. Okay, let's do this. Damage instance dot set. Is that used anywhere? No. Okay. Damage instance. No. But. Okay, where's the aggregate stuff? Turn damage list. Get final damage amount. Turn damage list. Ah, here's where we add it. Ah, aha. Okay, that does have the unit, the target, and the source. Okay, good. Pushing 30. That's a very specific age, Willow. Okay, so I guess this is where... This is where we want the damage instance stuff. Right? Because that's got unit, source, and damage instance. So right here, when we append the damage, do we want this whole thing? Damage data equals this. We'll pass the whole damage data on deal damage instance to the status effect. On the status effect card. Status effect. Status effect. Directory. Status effect directory. Status effect directory. Okay. So we want to grab final damage value equals damage instance dot damage distance dot. I guess it can be damage data dot instance dot oh, I guess that would be the same one we used for the other status effect, which is sleep. No, we didn't, because we only used it. Okay, so where is the actual number here? Final damage amount. Oh. Oh. Well, then why are we appending this here? Because that's not gonna be accurate, is it? It's not gonna be accurate. So I want to move this here and include a final final damage, I guess. There we go. So now we have final damage amount as a property that we can reference here. Damage data, final damage amount. That's all we care about. A look. When do we want to do the next Zelda stream? Ooh. Let's see. What did you finish last time? You beat Thieves Town, didn't you? Dungeon 4? Where's Dungeon 5? 4. It's just 5, 6, 7, right? And then Ganon's Tower. Oh, I think I know where the next one is. Yeah, the princess. That was the thief. I was blind to the thief. Transformed by the magic of the dark world. She was not a friend. Not a friend. Or I in final damage value. We're gonna increment money. Money. And we're going to generate a coin, like a fake coin. Coin from chest is similar to what we want, except this one is not going to. Does this one have an animation on it and everything? It does. Okay. So we want a similar thing to this, but without a collision. So what if we just take this and say, can interact, by default is true. And only do this. We'll just grab this coin from chest scene here. This is pretty silly that we're doing it this way. You can accomplish anything. There you go, Willow. That's the kind of positivity we need in here. instantiate a coin. Set the position of that coin to the location of where the damage was dealt, sort of. So let's take damage data dot unit dot actor dot global position, and let's add 0.5 up. And then also, let's take this coin from chest here and make a slight edit. If it cannot interact, then I want it to just disappear after a bit. We'll do that with a little delay timer or something. We can do an animation player for that, actually. Let's do an animation player for that. So that's gonna be just like, just zoop. You get what I mean? Just zoop. Take this node that contains everything except the collision shape. And we're gonna scale it. We're gonna start with existing scale, apparently 0.25. We're gonna go down to very, very small. 0.01, sure. And then it's gonna delete. AI text generator. But then it wouldn't be you talking now, would it? 5. Then grab this point here and go there, and then make it cubic. So it goes. Except then bring this back to here. Wait, why is it looping? I thought this was 0.01. Okay, we got these backwards. Perfect. And then also add a call method for the whole thing. At the end, we're going to do queue-free. There we go, simple. Feels wrong, yeah. Okay. So we can have it this animation zip out animation. And we'll say if you can't interact and you're not already zipping out, then start zipping out. Done. So all we have to do is set can interact on this. To false. We also need to set the velocity of it. I want it to kind of fly into the air. Coin dot linear velocity equals. This one's going to be tricky. We're going to take vector3 dot forward, rotate it around the up axis. Stay with me now. By an angle of pi times 2 times rand f. So it's going to be pointing in a random direction. And then we're going to add to that 2 up. And we'll see if that's enough. That might be all we need. Let's test it. It doesn't matter. if you can never focus on being the best at something, because that would, if everyone focused on having to be the best at something to have any interest in doing it, then only one person would ever do anything. All right, so use the item, turn on the status effect. Oh, Dabble didn't get the status effect. Mulligan. All right, now hit him with an attack. Let's see what happens. Where are the coins? No coins popped out. And also this popped out. On deal damage instance. You're not supposed to be dealing damage to... You're not the one that... No, I have the status effect, not you. Oh, we have this backwards. I'm the one that has the status effect, not you. So final damage amount is what I wanted, apparently. But that said, this is supposed to happen. Run the status effects on the unit, on the source when this happens. Right? Let's try that again. Okay. Do an attack. Get coins, right? Get coins. I got 2 coins, but they didn't actually appear. Oh, I didn't add them to the scene. Okay. We're close. We're close. A few things I want to change on this. 1, status effect directory. I want the number of coins to also be multiplied by the effect's potency. So if you have a level 3 cash grab, you'll get triple the coins. That's the gag there. I guess add them to the battle manager. Effect.unit.battlemanager.add child coin. That's fine. It's a tricky thing. Because eventually it's just gonna be like, I don't know. I don't love the idea of AI. I want to do things. I'm going to do things. And I'm going to enjoy that. Hit him twice. Yeah, there we go. The coins are not disappearing, though. Why aren't the coins disappearing? Also, I want him to fly farther and faster. But I did get coins. Okay, let's just double the speed of the coins flying out. Coin can't interact. If you cannot interact with the coin, that's true. And you're not yet zipping, that's true. Play the zip out animation. Why did it not play the zip out animation? Oh yeah, the add-on for that. Yeah. I'm still deciding if I like it better or not. It seems pretty good. The add-on is called Script IDE. Script-IDE. So we want to gain status effect. Hit enemy. Hit enemy once. Well, it played the, it's doing this. Then why is it not, pray tell? Well, so CFG, I think the thing is, like, this is, and you're gonna have a hard time kind of making any ground with this subject, because you're in an area where there's a lot of people who enjoy creating. And if I just tell a computer, make it for me, I didn't really create it. I'm sure it's great on the side of, I just want to accept things. Because, I mean, yeah, the end content, you can get philosophical about, you know, the creation process being somehow inherently important to art in some way. But that cannot change the fact that for people who take joy in creating things and making something on their own, you know, sitting down with a piece of paper and just enjoying the process of making art, AI doesn't really help with that. It's like those people who just, like, if you took a helicopter to the top of Mount Everest, if your goal is to look at the top of Mount Everest, then sure, the helicopter is a fine solution. But if your goal is to actually climb Mount Everest, I think most people would say taking the helicopter removes any of the enjoyment of the climb. So that's my take on that. And now there's an advertisement, so you can't even, yeah. Now the ad's going, hi everybody else. I don't know if you're in ads right now, CFG, but that qualifier is the problem there. And that I think a lot of people will not appreciate. I don't appreciate it personally. Why is this animation not playing? Oh, because I have to actually tell it which animation to play. Why doesn't it give an error for that? It's so silly. But yeah, that's on me. Oh man, I didn't get any. Well, that's okay, because I'll just sit here and wait for all these pigs to take their turn. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now then. Cat should get 2 coins per point of damage. Oh, but what about damage that goes beyond the amount actually dealt? Yeah, I dealt 2 damage. What if the pig only had 1 health? Another more interesting stuff, unique stuff will be valued more. I'm gonna give it a minute to wait until the ads are definitely done before rebutting. All right, so deal. Oh wait, no, cat doesn't get another turn. Okay. Okay, but the coins at least disappear now correctly. So they need to play their sound. Where does the sound come in? Right there. play that at this moment here, I guess. All right. If you do overkill, like if you deal 100 damage to an enemy that has 1 health, should you get 100 coins? Okay, so now I have 2. So this should give me... I could do for 1 and then try 2 next round. All right, so there's that. Well, here's the... I mean, I'd say the problem is... Right now, there is an argument to be made about the quality of what AI can create. But in the future, as it advances, there will not be... That will not be a solid argument. And so I just fall back to my initial statement, in which AI cannot give me the experience of building something and creating something from my own creativity. 50 coins in an IOU. There you go. The fact that your message was specifically, it won't replace artists with a specific sound that are uniquely creative. That's a touchy statement there, because you didn't say it won't replace artists. You're saying that artists that do not have a specific sound, artists that aren't creative enough, whatever that may mean, those will be replaced. I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. Okay, right now it will do overflow damage. Okay. So what we want is I want another element to this dictionary here. This is getting complex. So this is sort of our repository of information about a single instance of damage. Not necessarily one attack, because an attack can actually deal multiple instances. If it hits 4 times for 1 damage each, that's 4 instances of damage that all get logged. Final damage amount is the final numeric amount displayed, but not the amount of health deducted. Is that what we want to call it? Actual health deducted. As long as I comment that, we'll be able to understand it. So for that, we need to know what the unit's current health is. Counts for overflow. Overflow beyond units remaining health. Let's steer the conversation back to video game development, away from AI trying to replace art. Because no. I don't want that to be going on here. Health deducted is going to be final damage. It's going to be the minimum of final damage amount and the unit's actual remaining health. And that we can get pretty easily. Unit.hp.current. Theron, you're on thin ice. So now, instead of using final damage amount, let's use actual health deducted. There we go. And it's that easy. I could randomly delay each of these instances, maybe? I don't know if that's worth doing. Yeah, it's fine. Stoneless. Yeah, why don't we add a slight delay? All right, no, but genuinely, just to make sure there's no confusion, because sometimes I have difficulty reading the room a bit. I'll admit it. No more discussion about AI, please. CFG specifically. So we're gonna take this and do a rand timeout. Up to 0.25. And the particular reason for that is when we do large chunks of damage, we want the noise to sort of stagger a bit between each individual strike. All right, here we go. So let's hit him let's get 4 of these. Didn't even hear it. It did definitely play the logic because the coins came out, and I don't think they all disappeared in perfect unison. There should be up to... Oh, what about... Oh, what would this do? I guess this should still count, right? That's a lot of money. Okay, that's very funny. All right, you know what? Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. That's very silly, but yeah, if you do damage with an item, sure, still counts. Take your money, you clever player, you. Okay, now we have a new status effect. This is a silly one, and it's not going to show up much in the game. It's not going to be one you can do on demand. It's going to be mostly just a little bonus that will occasionally happen to give you some extra cash. I don't know if it'll be a random event, so to speak, but the idea is that when it happens, you perhaps will rethink your strategy a bit and actually say, "Oh, I want to get lots of money now. I'm gonna use some resources that I normally wouldn't because it will be worth money to me." Rock and stone. All right, so there we go. New status effect. The new system is making it a little bit easier to put the logic in place. Now, what about when they are not in battle, like in Paper Mario? Currently, I do have the code done, and it works for using like a healing item outside of battle. That actually works right now. Let's see. So you could take this, and then you get to choose. And you'll notice on the left, it also shows the icon on energy because this particular item heals both health and energy. If it was health only, it would just do health. There you go. What's about what now? No, it's a strawberry. Strawberry is the healing item. Well, except for that particular one was a cake made of dragon fruit. Very whimsical. Let's see here. Utility, we're done with that one. If we could get, and there's a big if we could get base actor code, animation speed. Oh, we do have animation speed. Where is that using? Well, have you ever played Paper Mario? It's a lot like that. You usually use your money on... Have you ever played a video game, like an RPG, with like, where there's combat and shops, and you go to the shops and you buy items and then you use those to help you win fights? That's usually how video games work. Oh yeah, here's an example of where we're doing a quicker animation speed. Okay, this is super doable then. Yeah. Okay, well there you go. You can also buy a scarecrow. Unit actor animation speed. All right, we're gonna make the stop effect. All right, how are we gonna do that? We're gonna do our best. It's gonna be like sleep. Except sleep wears off from damage. Stop does not. So here's the tricky thing that I need to remember on this. To do, prevent blocking when stopped or sleep. All right, effect draw. Our default state, animation speed, I believe is what we said it was. Yes. Animation speed defaults to 1.0. But if you are in the state of stop, then you don't get access to that. Animation speed equals 1.0, and maybe we'll do hurt as the reset animation. We'll see what that looks like. That might be the entirety of stop. To check, what's the last one we were working on? Cash grab. Change this to stop, and that applies to target. Forgot to fix what? Oh no, you gotta fix the penguin. She's gonna... She asked you to fix the penguin. Yeah, with the promise that you would fix the penguin. a Friday after a networking event. There you go. All right, we're gonna try this. Aspect. Stop. Oh. What? Oh, I see. Oh, yes. Well, he's British.
That's true. I always random views in there.
This is not. That's not right here. They're wiggly. They're sides. They're supposed to be frozen in place. Why aren't they frozen in place? I specifically requested it. Oh. Did I request it? Nope. Try again. Oh, good old Michael. You can try to convince Dupu to go visit Michael next Friday. There we go. Boom. Stop. We just added another step. We added a status effect in 5 minutes. The new system is working. Okay, we don't have an icon for it. Let's draw. So that we can actually have a new status effect done. I love how cash grab as a status effect took like an hour and a half. And then stop Aga took 5 minutes. Okay, what is the color of stop? I'm trying to keep these kind of monochrome because I just like the idea that each status effect has a single color dedicated to it. It feels like it might be a gray. I could go with like a dark teal or a purple. The Sims. What color is stopping time? Let's say a bright magenta here. Almost pink. Kind of a hot pink. What does the icon look like? Stopwatch? That. And then there it is. Merge layers. Oh right, I gotta pull that. That's why the art wasn't coming across for cash grab. Because I didn't update the PNG. To whatever is one after whatever cash, so 7. All right, boom. 2 new status effects. Oh, the new system is good. Yes, look at that. Okay, now there's a question on stop. What does the potency of stop mean? Does it mean anything? I would say no. There is no potency for stop. You either have it or you don't. The only reason there's extra coins is just to make it more likely that it lands. But that's it. You either land it or you don't. So we would have good effect. They're just like locked in time. Hoodoo Stop doesn't use potency. So we'll have some kind of flag for the potency of a status effect to say whether or not it's an on-off, or because we have Revive has a potency but does not deduct turn. Talking fish friend. Well, I don't know if we were friends. We knew each other for like 5 minutes. And that was that. Okay. Germdove's still on? Germdove's still on. I think we should go right into Germdove. Let's do that now. Why not? Perfect. I think we got good stuff done tonight. I will work a little bit on the business about making status effects non-potenciable. Not that it matters, I just don't want the potency to show up because it has no effect. Some status effects will just be like that. It's like on some status effects, I can see like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Let's, like, oh yeah, cash grab, more potency. Sleep, higher potency means that you can actually damage them a few times before they wake up. Stop. Like, no, you don't get a turn. You just don't get a turn. And you can't block. I can hit you all I want. It's effectively the same as a deep sleep. Which makes me wonder if it's even going to be a status effect. We'll keep it. I don't know whether or not we'll use it. We'll see. All right. Everyone, thank you for hanging out. Sunday, bring ideas for more status effects that we can add to the game, just to make that feature more complete. I have a handful of other weird ones like cash grab. That's such a silly one. I love it though. Thank you all for hanging out. It was very fun. Status effects, yeah. Willow's all about the status effects. She plays RPGs now. We're gonna head over to Germdove, a friend of the channel, who is doing Jackbox tonight for his subscriber suggestion night. Will take increased damage. There will be something like that, I'm sure. That'll be a good one. All right, everyone, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.